All right, hello wine drinking people. Today is Tuesday, tax day, the 15th of April. Ooh, we're going to get our return in time today? I don't know. Anyways, all we're worried about is getting our video out in time because we've got a great event to promote next week. We've got our Taste of the Nation next week. This is one of the producers that's coming in for the event to help us raise money for hungry people here in South Florida. Avigionesi winery from Vino Nobile di Montepulciano, one of the most famous producers of this wine. And there's 4 DOCGs now in Tuscany. Well, maybe 5, I don't know. You know, every time you blink an eye, there's a new DOCG added in Italy. And this is the highest classification of wine, Chianti being the most famous DOCG in Tuscany, and one of the most average wine being produced for a DOCG. Of any DOCG, there's an ocean of cheap stuff under the label of Chianti, but also one of the greatest Sangiovese-based wines in Tuscany is made in Chianti. So Vino Nobile di Montepulciano, I always say, is the least known of these DOCGs, but that was until Morellino di Scanzano came along in 2006, and that is the DOCG right on the Tuscan coast, and not as well known because it's been around for as long. Of course, Brunello di Montalcino being the greatest DOCG in Tuscany, and one of the greatest wines made in the world. We do a couple of Brunello tastings every year. We get one coming up on the 9th of May, really soon, with the 2009, the new releases. But hey, this event is Vino Nobile di Montepulciano. Sounds similar. Montepulciano is the name of a town in southern Tuscany. And the difference here is, well, the clone of Sangiovese, they use a clone called Prunello Gentile, the gentle prune. And this is, you know, it's a little different than the wines you get from Montalcino. Very elegant still, and Sangiovese, so lighter in style than the great Nebbiolo grape, the cousin to the north from the Piedmont, which is a little more tannin to it. But these wines also very long-lived, and I always like to say this is the best value in Tuscany. Well, Avigionesi is the greatest producer, and you know, you do pay a little more for these wines. You know, usually the Rosso di Montepulciano, the entry-level wines, are about $15. Well, this one's only $17.60, and these wines are meant to be drank young, very fresh, and hey, we got the same vintage of Rosso and Vino Nobile. The Vino Nobile more similar along the lines to Brunello di Montalcino, but not held back as long by law. You don't have to keep it back 5 years. I think it's only 3 years. And this wine, like all the wines here, are made from 100% estate fruit, all organically farmed. Well, the new owner in 2009, the people that bought the property from the Avigionesi family, instituted organic farming because, well, not because it's fashionable, because that is the right way to treat a vineyard. It's going to live longer and be healthier. And, hey, healthier grapes make healthier wines, which make healthier people. And, anyways, the Vino Nobile 2005, we've got coming along, special out for this event, so you can see how these wines age. As I mentioned before, Sangiovese ages exceptionally well, so we've got an older vintage of that. And the Desiderio Merlot, which is one of the greatest Merlots produced in Italy. Hey, in Tuscany, they make some pretty good Merlot. The best, of course, being out on the Tuscan coast, the Masetto from Ornellaia. But this Desiderio is just a fraction of the cost and always gets big numbers for $56. A great example of Merlot from Tuscany. We've got an older vintage of that coming out as well. So for those of you that don't believe in Merlot making a great wine, Merlot, you know, like the Saint Emilions and Pomerols, can last 20, 30 years or more. So we've got an 03 in that. And then, of course, an IGD, because everybody likes to mix a Sangiovese and a Cabernet together in Tuscany. And it is allowed, actually, in this part. You can blend, even though I just mentioned the Vino Nobile is 100% Sangiovese. They're allowed up to 10, 15% other varietals, including a Cabernet. So this IGT 2010, a great vintage from this region. We've got a couple of courses, of course, from our Wine Watch catering chef, Toni Lampasone, coming out. Check it out. Everything we'll be having from Avigionesi Winery next Tuesday night, the 22nd of April. I'm your host, Andrew Lampasone, signing off for the Wine Watch, saying, remember, always drink the good stuff first.